My husband, 34 male, and I, 32 female, live in Honolulu with our toddler daughter. We both work full-time and live pretty modestly. People assume we're loaded because we're in Hawaii, but honestly, everything here is insanely expensive and we budget everything pretty tightly. My brother-in-law, 30, asked if he could visit for a quick getaway to escape winter on the mainland. We said sure, thinking it'd be 4 or 5 days tops. He showed up with 2 giant suitcases, no return flight booked, and said he's staying until he feels recharged. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, he hasn't offered to pay for groceries, utilities, or even gas when he uses our car. He spends the whole day lounging on our lanai, leaves towels all over the place, eats all our food, and complains when we make anything too healthy, and takes super long showers like we're not on a water bill here. I hinted nicely a few times that he should pitch in, but he laughs and says, "Don't worry, I'll get the next one." Whatever that means. I talked with my husband about it and we concluded that he absolutely has to contribute if he wants to stay with us. We sat him down, I led the conversation because I mainly handle the budget for our household, and said that if he wants to stay this past week, he needs to contribute like $150 a week just to help with food and utilities. Honestly, that's way less than what it's costing us, but I was trying to be cool about it. He got super offended and said, "Wow, charging family to stay with you? In paradise? That's messed up." He stormed out and now his mom, my mother-in-law, is texting my husband about how I'm ruining the aloha spirit and treating him like a burden, which he is absolutely being. I don't think I'm being unreasonable, but now the whole family is acting like I kicked him out onto the street. I even offered to help cover the cost of a flight home if that's keeping him here, but as far as I know, he's not broke. Am I the idiot for being upset that he's recharging at such great expense to us and asking that he pay his guest fee after he extended his vacation at our house? Not the idiot. Who takes 3 weeks to feel recharged, especially since he's clearly overstaying? He needs to at least contribute a little. If it were me, I would feel so responsible to at least help around the house or contribute. Is he doing none? Does he help around the house? You guys need to have an emergency family meeting to discuss the situation. He should either contribute or at least help around the house. Little brother equals golden child, must be taken care of, cared for, incapable of doing things on his own. Honestly, it sounds like he's acting like another child, and the majority of his caretaking is falling on you. If he's not recharged enough, he needs to start charging in his own apartment. Otherwise, why would he leave? No bills, food covered, and no job necessary. Where do I sign up? Ask his mom if that's how she raised her son to act after laying out how much of a slob and a mooch he is. Turn it on her parenting and see how fast she turns on him, unless he is a golden child, of course. Also, your husband needs to stand up and shut the conversation down. My mom would never dare approach me like this. This is not a guest. This is a wannabe tenant, and he needs to go now, no matter what his mommy thinks. Don't give him the option of pay to stay, because $150 a week to live in Hawaii is a fabulous deal, and he knows it. Oh, and also, your husband should have 100% led the conversation because it's his brother, and he should be fully backing you up to his family. I'm not getting the sense from your post that he's doing this, and I hate that for you. I would have just kicked him out. Make sure he doesn't gain residence there, where you have to evict him if that is a thing there. Charging him effectively sets rent while still allowing him to potentially establish residency. Plus, he said a quick getaway. There's no way that 3 weeks is a quick getaway. Mother-in-law, he said he wanted to be here for a quick getaway. 3 weeks is already more than any conceivable quick getaway, so he's out of here. Kick this user out. He can go home or sleep in the rough, in paradise. My dad died about 6 months ago. I'm 29 female, the youngest of 4. My older siblings are 35 female, 37 male, and 40 female. We weren't a super close family, especially with my dad. He was strict, cold, and hard to be around. But in the last few years, I was the only one who stayed in touch with him. I'd check in, help out with errands, sit with him during appointments, that kind of thing. The rest of my siblings gradually drifted off. I figured they just had their reasons and never pushed it. We were all on decent enough terms. When he passed, I was shocked to learn he'd left everything to me. The house, car, and around $300,000 in savings. The will was updated a year before he died, and it's completely legal. I didn't ask for that. I didn't expect it. Honestly, I thought we'd all get an equal share. The day after the funeral, my siblings sat me down and just assumed I'd divide everything 4 ways. I told them I wasn't going to. That's when the drama started. Turns out they hadn't just drifted, They'd all pulled some shady stuff with my dad over the years. One borrowed money and ghosted him, one tried to get him to co-sign a loan and went no contact when he refused, and one literally forged his signature on an insurance thing. I had no idea, but apparently my dad did. He never said anything to me about it. He just changed his will and left everything to me, the one who stuck around and didn't lie to him. Now they're calling me selfish and manipulative. They said he wasn't in his right mind, he was absolutely sharp until the end. One hinted at legal action but dropped it once they saw the paperwork. I haven't touched the money yet. Part of me feels guilty. Another part of me feels like this was the one time he actually showed he saw me, and I don't want to undo that. I want to mention that I didn't have a bad relationship with my siblings. We were all right, but when I found out what they did to our dad, it just broke my heart. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Let them think of you as a villain. Go and live your best life. Your siblings deserve nothing. Sorry about the loss of your father. All I can say is respect your father's final wish. Exactly. Just because the sibling relationship seemed okay on the surface doesn't undo the damage they did to their dad, and he clearly didn't forget it. Actions have consequences, and he made his final decision with full awareness of who actually showed up for him. You might need to move, OP. Crappy people do really crappy things to others when they think they might get the money by doing those crappy things. Stay safe. Agreed. Dad did what he thought best. OP, you have an incredible opportunity here. House, car and cash. Clearly your siblings did some shady things and you were there for him. No expectations, just there for him. If you gave each sibling $75,000 and a quarter of the house, they would have those free and clear. You, on the other hand, would have significant tax consequences, at least in paperwork, and CPA costs if not money owed. You wouldn't be sharing an inheritance, you'd be giving each of them a gift that is well above the annual exclusion amount. Don't be a pushover. They wouldn't share with you. I, 18 male, moved out of my dad's house last month. It wasn't planned long term, it actually went against what my dad and I had talked about. But I moved out because he was moving in his girlfriend and her kid, and I don't like his girlfriend. Dad raised me on his own. He and my mom broke up when I was 5 months old and she stopped being in my life. My dad first met his girlfriend when I was 6. They dated on and off for the last 12 years. They'd never lived together before and they'd never been together for this long either, 2 years. But over the years, she made me angry a lot and made me wish he'd settle down with someone else. This isn't a thing of me not liking anyone Dad's dated. He was with someone else when I was 14 and I liked her a lot. This is more about this specific girlfriend than me not wanting Dad with anyone. I started to dislike her when I was 8 and she told me she would take me to see my mom. She got all riled up because Dad and I had seen Mom a few days before and my mom went up to Dad to yell at him for trying to get child support out of her. She ignored me completely and told Dad she didn't want her past mistakes to ruin her future. I was saying how I never wanted to see Mom again and so Dad's girlfriend decided she'd take me to see her. My dad shut that down hard. His girlfriend said my mom needed to realise that I'm her kid. It felt like Dad's girlfriend didn't care what I wanted or how that would hurt me, and even though she later apologised, it felt forced and like she was fine, whatever, sorry. But it made me see her differently. She and Dad broke up not so long after that. She still brings up Mom more than I would like when she and my dad are together. I resist the urge to tell her to shut the heck up. Half the time I expect her to go behind our backs and try to get Mom involved. When I was 10 or 11, she got kicked out of the coding classes I was taking and almost had the cops called. Dad had asked her to pick me up. She needed her ID, but she forgot it, so the class organizer couldn't let her take me. Instead of calling Dad, she started a fight about it, screaming for me to grab my stuff and go. The organizer said even if I wanted to go with her, she needed an ID before letting me go. They were just about to call the cops when she said she called Dad and then he picked me up instead. He came late and she was angry for days after that. I was so embarrassed and some of the kids made fun of me when it was going down. She didn't care and I remember her rolling her eyes when I said she was the reason the kids were making fun of me. Another thing that has really made me angry about her, and this is a recurring issue, is when she sees me on the phone and snaps her fingers in my face. This would happen when I was on the phone, when she came over. I was normally talking to family, either my great-grandma who was in a nursing home, she died 8 months ago, or out-of-state family. She expected me to end any call and pay attention to her when she came over. She didn't like that I'd be busy talking to family. If Dad were there, he'd say to leave me be, but she did it so many times. She'd even come and track me down in my bedroom and start snapping her fingers in my face. There's other stuff that has built up over time, and most of it is more like petty stuff, but I really don't like her anymore. The last time my dad and her broke up, she got pregnant with another guy's kid. When she and Dad got back together, they decided to try to make it work. I was hoping they wouldn't. I know that might sound bad, but I'd take so many other people over her. But Dad loves her, and when he told me they were moving in last month, I told him I'd find somewhere else to live. Dad told me I didn't have to, and he tried to stop me in the 2 days it took me to figure something out. He told me I didn't need to and I wouldn't be kicked out. They were just coming to live with us. I told him I couldn't live with this girlfriend and wouldn't force myself to. I told him I wasn't stopping him from moving them in, but I was moving myself out before that happened. Things between my dad and me have been tense since I moved out. His girlfriend's offended that I moved out because they were moving in, and she tried to give me a piece of her mind or whatever. I ignored her. She told me I better be there nearly every day to make up for it, but I haven't been to Dad's house once. I made plans to do stuff with him, but any family dinner invites I don't accept. Dad told me it was extreme to move out when I'd always planned to stay at least another 2 years. I told him I couldn't accept her being a part of my household, and it was better I moved out when I did than disrespect her like I knew I would. His girlfriend accused me of trying to break them up and ruin their relationship. She even called me moving out a stunt. I ended up blocking her number, but I hear her when Dad calls. She's apparently going to blame me if her kids' feelings get hurt in all of this. Am I the idiot? The snapping in your face thing? Oh heck no, that'd annoy me too. That's crazy rude. That's one of many other issues here, but it caught my attention because, wow, I think almost no one could be an idiot for moving out of their parents' house. That's a life milestone generally done because it's what's needed for independence, not something that's wrong or bad or malicious. My only concern is if it was feasible for you but you managed it. But no, not the idiot in any way. The girlfriend is, and so is your dad for letting her treat you like that. Tell your dad, your mom may have walked by, he was worse. He allowed a woman to abuse you for 12 years and then moved her in. What she was doing was abuse. She's a toxic nutcase. I'd tell him straight and say he's lost your respect and he should be ashamed of himself. Seriously, I couldn't be around a person who treated waitstaff so disrespectfully, never mind my own child. How can the dad watch his son be treated so horribly? How can he care about a person who acts this way? As a parent, this makes me sick. I will never, ever understand people like this. Moving was the right answer, but curiosity, was she also expecting you to help out with the kid and that's why she wanted you there every day? Also, if the kid is hurt by this, that's her fault for telling him OP moved out because that's what grown-ups do, is a perfectly fine explanation. So if she says it's because of the kid when it's because of her, geez. I, 30, have infant twins with my husband Daniel, 32. We've been together for 7 years and married for 5. I've recently returned to my job and my children are under the care of my parents. We live in our parents' home and we're saving enough money for our home. We've purchased the land already and will build our home in a few years. In return, we help our parents with cooking and housework. We're not fans of daycare and leaving kids with a nanny. We have a nanny and my parent supervisor. She's been working for my family for the last decade, helping raise my siblings' kids. My parents have raised my siblings' kids too and they turned out fine. But Daniel is nitpicking everything my mom and dad do, and my dad had a shouting match with him, that they know what they're doing. Daniel wants my parents to focus only on our children and not leave them at home with a nanny even for a few minutes. He makes faces when parents spend time with other kids. My parents are not dependent on us and have pensions. They buy things for kids too. He asked them not to do any activities outside of childcare. Like Mom, Dad took the kids out for an evening walk and he had issues with it, and my parents said that he has to stop. He has a problem if they use their phones too much or watch TV. Should they stop having life outside of grandkids? They feed the food we've asked for and take care of them. I told Daniel how lucky we were and that the way he was going we would lose all childcare. I bought an Apple tablet for my dad and jewellery for my mom because I appreciate their help. My parents are at breaking point with his behaviour and he isn't listening to me. I told him his family refused to help, so he should shut up. He called me an idiot for dragging his family. I won't be surprised if we get kicked out because of his behaviour. Then the kids will have to go to daycare. We won't be able to save much on rent and childcare. I told him he's being unrealistic. OP, start packing your things and tell your husband that you need to find a place to move with the kids and figure out childcare. Apologize to your parents and thank them for trying to help you give your children a better life despite your husband being such an idiot. Tell your husband that you may have to sell the property to help cover this move and postpone the idea of having your own home until the children are raised. Your husband is an idiot. Yep, your husband is. You have a major problem with him. Make him tour daycare facilities and ask questions and look into pricing. Have him watch the babies on his own and see how he does things differently. It's really easy to criticize other people when it's not you doing the hard work. Is he trying to put you in a position where he can force you to quit work and stay with the babies so he has more control? Has he shown other signs of trying to sabotage you? If this is just a controlling pattern he has because of some childhood trauma, the reality of putting the kids in daycare should snap him out of it. But if he has a control problem across the board, maybe he needs to move out and you and the kids stay where you have support.